Hi there guys, Ollie Rodriguez here today, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about why I prefer Marvel over DC. Now, as you all know, I do clearly have a little bit of a Marvel thing here. You can see the Avengers poster, the Old Man Logan poster, the Spider-Man artwork, the X-Men cover poster, Deadpool over here, my Punisher pop vinyl, my Spider-Man Homecoming pop vinyls. I've got quite a few things showing you I love Marvel. There's even an Iron Man poster up there. But I do want to make one thing clear, and it's that in this video I'm not going to be shitting over DC. I do have my reasons for not liking it too much or not even knowing anything about it. So let's just get down to it, and the number one thing which makes me prefer Marvel more than DC are the movies. Now, the way I first got into Marvel was Iron Man 1. I was lucky enough to be around when it first came out, although only being about 7 or 8 when I saw it with my dad, and after him taking me to see it, he sort of gave me a bit more insight into the comics, showing me his Invincible Iron Man collection, which he has, and he's grown it for quite a few years, like since he was about probably 20 or even less than that, just collecting that series, and it is quite an impressive collection he has built up of the Invincible Iron Man's collection. But as a kid trying to read comic books, I kind of just more looked at pictures, which is great, but at the same time I didn't understand the stories that were going on. So a movie was a better way for me to visualize what's happening better and easier at that age to understand the story. So I am one of the people who came in at the time of the movies, which get you into it. And when you see a movie and you know it connects all the way through into these other movies, or you know it's going to, you kind of want to see what it turns into and grows into. And plus, with a dad who wants to see that more than you kind of just follow that. Especially at that age, you kind of just look up and see what your parents are doing and what they're into, kind of. So let's break down the Marvel movies. Why are they so good? First of all, they've taken their time to get to where they need to be. They have had a long-term plan, and I saw some things saying that they have a plan until 2030, and to have a plan that long, Jesus Christ, they know what they want to do. And when you know what you want to do, it makes the product you're making, aka the films, have a clearer objective of where they're going, rather than being someone who's thinking they got an idea of where they want to go, but then halfway there being like, I'm going to take a left instead of a right. Also, one of the things they do in their movies, more the team-up movies, so Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy, or the Avengers, they give time for characters to get their own spotlights. Let's say in Civil War, there were two main characters who made their debut in the MCU, and they got the time they needed, and they didn't overstep their welcome. They took the spotlight they needed to get people interested in the films they're going to be having, and those characters are Spider-Man and Black Panther. They didn't involve them both directly in the conflict, so they're too new to introduce people into who they are, even though everyone knows Spider-Man. It's like, I feel Black Panther was more that character who needed the more interest. Spider-Man was more there to capitalize on people going, oh, Spider-Man's here in the MCU, that's awesome, let's go and see. Whereas Black Panther was more like, yes, he's finally here, he's finally going to be getting a film, let's build some background interest more for him, because everyone knows the background of Spider-Man. Then one of the things I also love about movies is each one has its own genre / style. So Ant-Man, I'd say, is the kind of cheesy comedy of the Marvel MCU. But then you have Doctor Strange, which is a more magical sort of Harry Potter-esque kind of genre. Then you have Guardians of the Galaxy, a sci-fi. And all these films, despite them all being so different, they all link in together really well. Then with the movies, you have DC. Now, first of all, I have seen every Marvel film there is. I've seen a few of the one-shots. But with DC, I've seen the Batman trilogy, and that's it, I think. Yeah. So, Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. No. Last Night? I can't even remember the third one. It's the one with Bane. I will have to say, they are really good movies, those three. I will have to say, those three movies were excellent. Really fucking good. They did something comic book films weren't doing, but for some reason, DC didn't capitalize on this. But one of the things about those movies is they didn't link into a bigger universe, which, on the one hand, those fans of DC may be a bit like, oh, we want it to link into its own thing. We want you to be doing a bit more like Marvel's doing. They don't want you to do what Marvel's doing. They want you to do something similar to Marvel where films link in. And this is where it started going wrong. And obviously I haven't seen the movies. My dad has seen Wonder Woman and Batman vs Superman. But other than that, I'm kind of just going off of what he said. But one of the things that DC seem to be very bad at is trying to link in their characters. And probably one of those reasons is because they didn't go in filming Batman Begins thinking, oh, we're going to have this link into a bigger universe. They went in there thinking, we want to film Batman films. And that's where DC go wrong. Now, this is going to be kind of me criticising DC about kind of giving them a chance. I'm just going off ratings and what people have said about them. And it's like, one of the main things I think DC have gotten wrong is connecting characters towards other characters and having that universe. That is their main problem. One of the things I feel like they need to do is just go, fuck it, we're not doing this whole connecting universe thing. We're going to do comic books in movies. They should take a story from a comic book and put it on screen. Now, I know they do that, and so do Marvel. However, obviously adapt it like Marvel do and what they do in their films. You don't want the exact same thing. However, don't spend all the time trying to link other bits from other movies from your previous characters into this film. I know from what my dad said was at the beginning of Wonder Woman, you see Batman there and kind of go in and ask, what is this? And then it shows you all her backstory. Now, that leads into the other problem is because of how well that trilogy of Batman films did, Warner Bros. Now rely on it too much that they go, we can't have a film about Batman. For example, Suicide Squad, that had Batman appear in it. It's ridiculous. Even Batman vs Superman, you've got Batman in it. And it then turns us into this whole thing of how much Batman do we really need? So, one of the things which, if I were to give DC a chance, it would be knowing that the films aren't linking into something bigger. So, let's say Justice League. If I were to go and see this, it feels like I need to know why they're all brought together. And to some extent, the Avengers, you need to know why they're being brought together. Although that is kind of shown there already. I don't know how Justice League is going to go, but it's like knowing it's trying to link other films that haven't been so well done into it, I just don't think that's going to work. So if they just went, here's Justice League, we're not going to do any backstory. Well, have a backstory in the film, but don't have other characters from other films having to go into there. Just have it as its own thing. I'm not going to lie, at this point I'm just talking and I feel unfair judging DC when I haven't seen their films or have nothing to really bounce it off. But one of the key differences I'd like to at least leave you with for a reason why maybe why DC don't do as well or Marvel do better or whatever way you view it, is the companies that own them. Marvel is owned by Disney, but the films are made by Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios, it has Marvel in the title. Clearly, they have read the comics or they know information about comics and they have an understanding on what it is, especially Kevin Feige. He's a nerd himself, he admits that, and having a nerd being the top producer and head of Marvel, a comic book company, by a guy who reads them and wants to recreate those moments in films, you're going to get a good product here. DC films, on the other side, are made and owned by Warner Bros. The films themselves are also made by Warner Bros. So, do you see that they don't have DC in the title? They don't put all their focus into making DC movies. They have a whole section of films they make. DC is only about that much of it. Whereas out here, there's a lot more they want to put in there. You can even tell by San Diego Comic-Con, they didn't have one DC panel, but they had a fucking Lego Ninjago panel. But the DC stuff was contained within the Warner Bros. Panel itself. So clearly they don't give too much shits about DC. Maybe that's where the problem lies. Maybe it's the company who makes the films. They don't know how to make a comic book movie and they just go from what they've seen. They see team-up movies with Marvel. They see characters who link into a bigger universe. Sure, that's great, but get people who actually like the comic books in charge of the DC place. I'm sure there are, but at the same time, it feels like Warner Bros. Are more of a company that want to make goodish films that make them money. And that is my main reason for liking Marvel over DC more, the movies. Now let's go into comic books very quickly. I never read a DC comic. So I have loads of Marvel comics back there. I mean, I do have 1 or 2 or 3 DC comics I could probably read. I could give them a try, and I'm willing to see what they're like. But Marvel are just winners. And it's like, if you make good film products and you make comic books, films are way above comic books, okay? So if you get fans going to the films going, I want to find out more history about this in comics, they're going to go to Marvel. If DC were the same, then people will go, oh, okay, I'm going to do this. But instead of DC, I know comic books are apparently better than Marvel, so those nerds who read comic books are going to go, oh, must be awesome to see on film, go to the film, and they're a bit like, yeah, I love it, just come fanboy. So anyway, that's been my opinions on why Marvel is better than DC. I know this probably went on too long, you may not even care. So, I've been Ollie Rodriguez, thank you all very much for watching. I won't keep you waiting any longer. Subscribe button here, there's a video here, video here. I've been Ollie Rodriguez, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you later.